Admiral Crickstall stood in front of the massive screen showing Earth. The blue and green planet looked peaceful from space. Too peaceful. His 6 arms moved over the control panels as he studied the data his scouts had gathered. This cannot be. Right, he said to his tactical officer. Show me the defense readings again. The younger alien pulled up the information on the screen. Admiral, our scans show almost nothing. No orbital weapons. No energy shields. Their spaceships are tiny and weak. Most of their weapons still use chemical explosives. Crickstall's 3. Eyes blinked slowly. In his 40 years of conquest, he had never seen anything like this. Every world the Zephyrian Empire had taken had at least some defenses. Even the weakest planets had energy weapons and force fields. But Earth looked like it was asking to be conquered. What about their military? He asked. They fight each other more than they fight outside threats, the tactical officer replied. Their planet is divided into hundreds of smaller territories. They cannot even agree on one government. Crickstall felt his excitement growing. This would be the easiest conquest in Zephyrian history. His commanders back home would be impressed. The other alien races would fear the Zephyrians even more after they took Earth without breaking a sweat. Meanwhile, on Earth, Lieutenant Colonel Jake Morrison sat at his desk in Peterson Space Base in Colorado. The coffee in his cup had gone. Cold hours ago, but he didn't notice. His eyes were fixed on the strange signals his computers were picking up from deep space. Lisa, come look at this, he called to his communications expert. Lisa Turner walked over, her blonde hair tied back in a military regulation bun. She had been working with Morrison for 3 years and knew that tone in his voice. Something was wrong. What do you see, Colonel? She asked. Morrison pointed at the screen. These signals started showing up 2 days ago. They're not from any satellite we know about. The pattern is too organized to be natural. Lisa studied the data. The signals came in bursts, with long pauses between them. They seemed to follow a pattern, but not one that matched any human communication system. Could it be aliens? She asked quietly. Morrison looked around to make sure no one else was listening. I've been thinking the same thing. But when I mentioned it to General Brooks, he said I was watching too many science fiction movies. Kevin. Brooks, their data analyst, walked over with a cup of coffee and a worried expression. Colonel, I've been running those signals through every code-breaking program we have. They're definitely artificial, but they're not human. The 3 of them stared at the screen in silence. If these really were alien signals, Earth might be in serious trouble. At MIT, Dr. Amanda Clark was having her own problems with strange signals. As one of the world's leading experts in languages, she had been asked to look at some unusual transmissions that radio telescopes had picked up. The government had sent them to her without explaining where they came from. She had been working on the signals for 18 hours straight. Her office was covered with papers showing different patterns and symbols. Empty coffee cups sat on every surface. Computer, run pattern analysis on section 12 again, she said, the computer screen filled with data. Amanda's tired eyes widened as she saw something she had missed before. The signals weren't random. They were conversations. She grabbed her phone and dialed a number she had been given for emergencies. This is Dr. Clark at MIT. I need to speak with whoever is in charge of the signals you sent me. 20 minutes later, her phone rang. Dr. Clark? This is Colonel Morrison at Peterson Space Base. I understand you have something important to tell. U.S. Colonel, these signals are definitely from an intelligent alien species. And from what I can understand, they're talking about Earth. Morrison felt his stomach drop. What are they saying? They're planning something. The word patterns suggest they see Earth as a target. They keep using terms that translate to easy and undefended. Back in space, Admiral Crickstall was meeting with his fleet commanders. The massive Zephyrian ships floated in the darkness between stars, their hull lights blinking like deadly stars. "Gentlemen," Crickstall said, his voice echoing through the communication system, "we have found our next conquest. The planet Earth shows no significant defenses. Our victory will be swift and complete." Commander Vextar, his second in command, looked at the data. "Admiral, this seems too easy. In our 17 previous conquests, every planet put up some kind of fight. This Earth shows almost nothing." "Perhaps they are simply more primitive than the others," Crickstall replied. "Their technology readings suggest they are at least 100 years behind galactic standards. They still use fossil fuels for energy and metal projectiles for weapons." The other commanders nodded. One of them, a young officer named Zektu, spoke up. "Sir, should we offer them a chance to surrender first?" Crickstall's laugh was like grinding. "Metal? Why waste time? We will take their planet in one swift attack. The humans will not even know what hit them." The alien fleet began moving toward Earth's solar system. On Earth, Morrison, Lisa, and Kevin worked through the night trying to decode more of the alien transmissions. Dr. Clark had joined them by secure video link, her tired face showing on their main screen. "The signals are getting stronger," Kevin reported. "Whatever is sending them is getting closer." "How much closer?" Morrison asked. "Based on the signal strength, I'd say they'll be here within days, not weeks." Morrison stood up and walked to the window. Outside, he could see the lights of Colorado Springs. Normal people were going about their normal lives, not knowing that aliens were heading toward Earth. "We need to contact the Pentagon," he said. "Whether they believe us or not, we have to try." Lisa looked at him with concern. "Colonel, what? If you're right? What if aliens really are coming, and they think we're defenseless?" Morrison turned back to his team. "Then we better hope they're wrong about us being defenseless." But as he said it, Morrison couldn't help but wonder if the aliens might be right. Earth's defenses were scattered across different countries. Their space program was still in its early stages. If hostile aliens were really coming, humanity might be in serious trouble. The signals from space continued to grow stronger. Commander Vextar looked at the blue planet, growing larger on his screen. Earth was beautiful, he had to admit. The swirling white clouds and deep blue oceans reminded him of his home world before the Zephyrians had covered it with cities and factories. "Sir, we are approaching the outer edge of their solar system," his pilot reported. Still no response from any defense systems. Vextar found this strange. Even the most primitive worlds usually had some kind of early warning system. But Earth seemed completely unaware of their approach. "Send a message to their leaders," he ordered. "Tell them we are here to accept their surrender. If they give up now, we will be merciful." The message was sent toward Earth using standard galactic communication frequencies. Now they would wait to see how the humans responded. Captain Danny Rodriguez was having a quiet day aboard the USS Defender when his communications officer suddenly sat up straight. "Captain, we're receiving a transmission from outside the solar system. It's not from any human source." Rodriguez felt his heart beating faster. For the past week, there had been rumors that alien signals were being detected. Most people thought it was just government paranoia, but Rodriguez had been in the military long enough to know when something serious was happening. Put it through. The translation computer he ordered. The ship's computer worked for several minutes before displaying a message on the screen. Rodriguez read it twice, not believing what he was seeing. "People of Earth, this is Commander Vextar of the Zephyrian Empire. We have come to add your world to our territory. Surrender now, and you will be treated fairly. Resist, and you will be destroyed." Rodriguez called his first officer, Commander Beth Palmer, to the bridge. Beth was a tough woman from Texas who had served in 3 different wars. If anyone could help him figure out what to do, it was her. "Beth, look at this message," he said. She read it carefully, her face getting more serious with each word. "Danny, are you telling me that aliens are demanding we surrender?" "That's what it looks like." "Well, they can go to hell," Beth said simply. Rodriguez smiled despite the situation. That was exactly what he had been thinking. "Open a channel to the alien ship," he ordered. The face that appeared on the screen was definitely not human. Vexstar had gray skin, 3 eyes, and a mouth full of sharp teeth. He looked surprised to see humans responding. "I am Captain Rodriguez of the Human Vessel Defender," Danny said. "We have received your message. Our answer is no." Vexstar's 3 eyes blinked in confusion. "No? You are rejecting our generous offer?" "That's right. Earth is not for sale, and we don't surrender to anyone." "But you cannot possibly fight us," Vexstar replied. "Our ships are far superior to yours. Your weapons are primitive." "This is foolishness." Beth stepped forward. "Maybe our weapons are primitive, but we know how to use them. And we've been using them on each other for thousands of years. We're pretty good at it." Vexstar looked angry now. "You dare to threaten the Zephyrian Empire?" "We're not threatening anyone," Rodriguez said calmly. "We're just telling you that Earth is off limits. Find somewhere else to expand your empire." The alien commander's face disappeared from the screen. A few seconds later, the ship's warning systems started screaming. "Captain, the alien ship is charging weapons," the tactical officer reported. "So much for peaceful contact," Beth muttered. "All hands, battle stations," Rodriguez announced over the ship's communication system. "This is not a drill." The USS Defender was not the largest ship in Earth's small space fleet, but it was one of the most advanced. What the aliens didn't know was that it was also carrying some very special weapons that had been developed in secret military programs. "Captain, they're firing," the tactical officer announced. A beam of blue energy shot from the alien ship toward the Defender. The ship's shields absorbed most of the impact, but the vessel still shook from the hit. "Return fire," Rodriguez ordered. What happened next surprised everyone, including the human crew. The Defender's weapons were labeled as kinetic projectiles in the official reports. What the reports didn't mention was that these projectiles were enhanced with experimental technology that made them far more powerful than they appeared. The alien ship's shields flickered and died under the impact. Vexstar's ship spun out of control, its hull cracked and leaking atmosphere. "Sir, the alien vessel is badly damaged," the tactical officer reported. "They're trying to retreat." "Let them go," Rodriguez said. "But keep our weapons locked on them, in case they change their minds." On Earth, Lieutenant Colonel Morrison was in an emergency meeting with generals and politicians. The news of the alien contact had reached the highest levels of government in a matter of hours. "Colonel Morrison, are you certain about this information?" asked General Paul Hayes, the head of North American Defense Command. "Yes, sir. Dr. Clark's translations have been confirmed by 3 independent sources. The aliens see Earth as an easy target because they think we're defenseless." General Hayes looked around the room at the other military leaders. "Gentlemen, it appears we have a problem. How do we defend against an enemy that has faster-than-light travel and energy weapons?" Colonel Morrison cleared his throat. "Sir, with respect, I think the aliens might be making a mistake about us." "What do you mean?" "They're judging us by our public technology. They see our chemical rockets and metal bullets and think we're primitive. But we've been developing advanced weapons in secret for decades. The aliens don't know about the black projects." General Hayes leaned forward. "Are you saying we might actually be able to fight them?" "I'm saying they might be in for a surprise, sir." In space, Vexstar was reporting to Admiral Krickstall about the encounter. The Admiral was not pleased. You mean to tell me that a single human ship damaged your vessel? Krickstahl's voice was full of anger. Admiral, their weapons were not what our scans predicted. They appeared to be simple projectiles, but they had some kind of enhancement that our shields couldn't handle. This is impossible. Our intelligence clearly shows that humans have primitive technology. Sir, I believe our intelligence may be incomplete. Admiral Krickstahl was quiet for a long moment. Commander, return to the fleet. We will approach this planet with more caution. But make no mistake, we will still conquer it. Back on the Defender, Rodriguez and Palmer were examining the damage reports. The alien weapons had been powerful, but not as devastating as they had expected. Danny, I think we hurt them more than... They hurt us, Beth said. Yeah, but they're probably going to come back with more ships. Good. I was just getting warmed up. Rodriguez looked at his tough first officer and smiled. Beth, remind me never to get on your bad side. Too late for that, Captain. I'm from Texas. We don't have a good side when it comes to fighting. As the alien ship limped away from Earth, both sides were learning important lessons. The aliens were discovering that human technology was not as primitive as it appeared. The humans were learning that they were not as helpless as they had thought, but the real fight was still to come. Admiral Krickstahl was not used to being surprised. In 40 years of conquest, he had developed a reputation for careful planning and overwhelming force. But the report from Commander Vexstar had shaken his confidence. Bring up the detailed scans. Of Earth again, he ordered his tactical staff. The holographic display showed Earth floating in the center of the command room. Krickstahl walked around it, studying every detail. The planet looked exactly as harmless as it had before. Sir, our scans still show minimal defenses, his intelligence officer reported. A few satellites, some small space stations, and scattered. Military bases on the surface. Nothing that should pose a threat to our fleet. Then explain how one of their ships damaged Commander Vexstar's vessel, Krickstahl demanded. Perhaps it was a lucky shot, sir. Or maybe they have hidden some of their technology. Krickstahl made his decision. We will attack with the full fleet. If the humans have surprises, we will overwhelm them with superior numbers. The Zephyrian invasion fleet was massive. 50 warships, each one larger than anything humans had ever built. Their weapons could destroy cities from orbit. Their shields could deflect any known human weapon, that at least. That's what the aliens thought. On Earth, Major Lisa Campbell was having the busiest day of her career. From her command center deep inside Cheyenne Mountain, she was coordinating with military leaders around the world. Chinese Defense Command, this is Cheyenne Mountain. Are your hidden systems ready? Affirmative, Cheyenne Mountain. Beijing's orbital platforms are online and standing by. Russian Command, what is your status? Moscow reporting. All bear trap systems are armed and ready. European Defense Network, please confirm readiness. All European installations are go. The sleeping giants are awake. Lisa looked at the massive display showing Earth from space. To most people, it would look like a normal view of their planet. But Lisa could see the truth that the aliens were about to discover. For 50 years, Earth's governments had been preparing for this day. Not because they knew aliens were coming, but because they feared each other. The Cold War had never really ended. It had just gone underground. What looked like civilian satellites were actually weapons platforms. What appeared to be radio telescopes were actually targeting systems. What seemed like empty space was actually filled with invisible defensive systems. Earth looked undefended because the best defenses were the ones nobody could see. Colonel Steve Martinez was in the Pentagon war room when the aliens arrived. He had been put in charge of Earth's unified defense, something that would have been impossible just a week ago. Nothing brought enemies together like a bigger enemy. Sir, We have multiple contacts entering the solar system, his radar operator reported. 50 large vessels approaching from the outer system. Are they in formation? Yes, sir. Classic battle formation. They're not trying to hide. Martinez smiled grimly. Good. That means they still think they have the advantage. The alien fleet moved slowly toward Earth, confident in their superiority. Admiral Crickstall watched Earth grow larger on his screens, already planning how to divide the planet among his commanders. Admiral, we are approaching the planet's defensive perimeter, his navigation officer reported. What defenses? Crickstall laughed. I see nothing but empty space. That's when the trap sprang. The first surprise came from what the aliens thought was a communications satellite. The small, harmless-looking object suddenly unfolded like a metal flower, revealing a weapon system that fired concentrated energy beams. Sir, we're under attack. The tactical officer screamed. But that was just the beginning. All around the alien fleet, satellites were transforming into weapons platforms. Space stations that had looked like research facilities opened up to reveal massive railguns. Even some of the space junk that floated around Earth turned out to be camouflaged defense systems. This is impossible, Crickstall said, watching his ships come under fire from dozens of hidden weapons. Sir, the humans have been hiding their true capabilities, Commander Vextar reported from his damaged ship. Their technology is much more advanced than we thought. From her command center, Major Campbell coordinated the attack. All stations, this is Cheyenne Mountain. Execute plan Sleeping Giant. Around the world, military installations that had been hidden for decades revealed themselves. In the Nevada desert, what looked like a simple radar station opened up to reveal a particle beam weapon. In the Australian outback, a fake mining operation turned out to be a launch facility for space-based interceptors. The aliens found themselves under attack from every direction. Their superior numbers meant nothing when they couldn't see their enemies until it was too late. Admiral, we're losing ships, Vextar reported. The humans are using tactics we've never seen before. What kind of tactics? They're not fighting like any military force we've encountered. They're fighting like hunters. On Earth, Dr. Amanda Clark was working with Colonel Morrison to analyze the alien communications they were intercepting. What they found was both encouraging and terrifying. Colonel, the aliens are panicking, she reported. They keep saying things like, this is not possible, and how did we miss this? What else are they saying? They're calling for reinforcements, but they're also saying something else that's interesting. They keep referring to humans as the pack hunters. Morrison frowned. Pack hunters? I think they're starting to understand something about us. We don't just fight as individuals. We fight as a species. The truth was becoming clear to both sides. The aliens had made a fundamental error in their assessment of humanity. They had looked at Earth's technology and seen primitive weapons. They had looked at Earth's politics and seen division and weakness. What they had failed to understand was that humans were not just another species with advanced technology. They were predators who had spent millions of years learning to hunt. In groups, they were survivors who had turned their own planet into a training ground for warfare. Not every human war had been practiced for this moment. Every conflict had taught them something new about strategy and tactics. Every enemy they had faced had made them stronger. Admiral Crickstall was learning this lesson the hard way. His fleet, which had seemed so powerful just hours ago, was being torn apart by an enemy that fought like nothing he had ever encountered. Sir, we need to retreat, Vextar advised. We've lost 15 ships already. Retreat? The Zephyrian Empire does not retreat. Sir, if we stay, we will lose the entire fleet. Crickstall looked at the battle display. His ships were scattered across the solar system, many of them damaged or destroyed. The humans had turned Earth's entire solar system into a weapon. How? Is this possible? He asked quietly. Commander Vextar had been thinking about the same question. Admiral, I believe we made a mistake. We thought Earth was undefended because we saw no obvious defenses. But what if it appears undefended because it's so well defended that nothing has ever survived to report back? The Admiral's 3 eyes widened as he understood. You mean ... I mean that Earth's reputation as an easy target might be the greatest trap ever set. Any species that attacks Earth simply disappears. No one knows why, because no one survives to tell the story. As if to prove his point, another Zephyrian ship exploded on the display, destroyed by weapons that seemed to come from nowhere. Admiral, Vextar said quietly, I think we need to consider the possibility that we are not the hunters here. We are the prey. On Earth, the humans were just getting started. Commander Vextar had never felt fear like this before. In all his years of conquest, the Zephyrian Empire had always been the predator. They would arrive, demand surrender, and crush any resistance with overwhelming force. It was a simple formula. That had worked on 17 different worlds. But Earth was different. Earth was hunting them. Sir, we've lost contact with 3 more ships, his communications officer reported. They were patrolling the outer system when they just disappeared. Vextar studied the tactical display. The remaining Zephyrian ships were scattered across the solar system, trying to avoid the human defenders. But everywhere they went, the humans were waiting. How are they doing this? He asked his tactical officer. How do they know where we're going to be? Sir, I believe they've been studying us. Every transmission we've sent, every tactical maneuver we've made. They know how we think. Captain Danny Rodriguez was proving this point at that very moment. The USS Defender, along with 5 other human ships, was stalking a group of alien vessels near Jupiter. Beth, what do you think they'll do next? He asked his first officer. Commander Beth Palmer studied the alien formation. Well, they've been running the same pattern for 3 days now. When they get into trouble, they always retreat to high ground and try to use superior firepower to solve the problem. So they'll probably head for that asteroid field and try to set up a defensive position. That's what I'd do if I was them. But I'm not them, and that's going to be their problem. Rodriguez smiled. The human fleet had been studying Zephyrian tactics for days now. Every battle, every retreat, every tactical decision had been recorded and analyzed. The aliens were predictable because they had never faced an enemy that could adapt as quickly as humans could. All ships, this is Defender. Execute Plan Coyote. The human ships spread out in a pattern that looked random to the aliens. But to anyone who understood pack hunting, it was as organized as a wolf pack surrounding prey. The Zephyrian ships moved toward the asteroid field, just as Beth had predicted. They were looking for a defensive position where they could use their superior weapons to drive off the human attackers. But the humans weren't attacking. They were hurting. Sir, the human ships are not engaging us, the alien tactical officer reported. They're just ... following us. Then we have the advantage. The alien commander replied. We'll set up our defensive position and destroy them when they attack. But the attack never came. Instead, the human ships just waited, and waited, and waited. Sir, we're running low on fuel, the alien engineer reported. We need to refuel. Soon. Then we'll break out of this asteroid field and head for the supply depot. But when the aliens tried to leave, they found the human ships blocking every exit. No matter which way they turned, there were human vessels waiting. Sir, I think we're trapped, the tactical officer said quietly. Back on Earth, General Paul. Hayes was watching the battle from his command center. The display showed alien ships scattered across the solar system, all of them being hunted by smaller human forces. General, The aliens are requesting a ceasefire, his communications officer reported. What are they offering? They want to negotiate. They're saying they're willing to withdraw from Earth's solar system if we let them go. Hayes looked at Colonel Steve Martinez, who was coordinating the overall defense. What do you think, Colonel? Martinez shook his head. Sir, these aliens conquered 17 other worlds. If we let them go, they'll just come back with a bigger fleet. Or they'll attack some other planet. So what do you recommend? We finish this. We make sure they can't threaten anyone else. Hayes nodded. I agree. Send them a message. Tell them. We'll accept their surrender, but not their withdrawal. Admiral Kriegstall received the human message with disbelief. They want us to surrender? To them? Sir, perhaps we should consider it, Vextar suggested. We've lost over half our fleet. Our remaining ships are scattered and low on supplies. The humans have us surrounded. The Zephyrian Empire does not surrender to primitive species. Sir, with respect, I don't think they're primitive. I think we made a terrible mistake. Kriegstall was about to reply when his sensor operator spoke up. Admiral, we have a problem. The humans are jamming our communications. We can't contact the home fleet. What do you mean? Sir, I think they're making sure that no one knows what happened to us. Just like what happened to everyone else who tried to attack Earth. The terrible truth was starting to dawn on the alien commander. Earth's reputation as an undefended world wasn't because it was weak. It was because everyone who discovered its true strength simply disappeared. Dr. Amanda Clark was working with Colonel Morrison to analyze the alien communications they were intercepting. What they found confirmed their worst fears about the Zephyrian Empire. Colonel, these aliens have been busy, she reported. They've conquered 17 star systems in the last 50 years. Billions of people have been enslaved or killed. What about the other species in the galaxy? Don't they fight back? That's the interesting part. It looks like most galactic civilizations are peaceful. They develop advanced technology, but they don't have much experience with warfare. The Zephyrians have been able to conquer them because they specialize in military force. Morrison nodded grimly. But they've never faced a species that specializes in warfare the way we do. Exactly. Humans didn't develop advanced technology to explore space or improve their lives. We developed it to kill each other more efficiently. We're the only species in the galaxy that has spent its entire history practicing for war. The truth was becoming clear to both sides. The Zephyrians had built their empire by conquering peaceful civilizations. They had never faced a species that treated war as a natural part of life. Captain Rodriguez was demonstrating this point as he led the final attack on the alien supply depot. The Zephyrians had thought they were clever, hiding their supply ships behind one of Saturn's moons. But human military thinking was different from alien military thinking. Beth, they're trying to use the moon as a shield, Rodriguez observed. Yeah, that's what I would do if I was defending a position, Beth replied. But we're not defending. We're hunting. The human ships split up, using Saturn's rings as cover. While the aliens focused on the main attack, smaller human vessels snuck around the moon and attacked the supply depot from behind. Sir, the humans are attacking from multiple directions, the alien commander reported. They're using tactics we've never seen before. What kind of tactics? Predator tactics, sir. They're hunting us like animals. The alien commander was right. Human military doctrine was based on thousands of years of warfare, but it was also based on millions of years of evolution as persistence hunters. Humans had learned to hunt in packs, to surround their prey, to wait for the perfect moment to strike. The Zephyrians had technology, but humans had instincts. Commander Vextar was one of the few alien officers who understood what was happening. As his ship limped through the asteroid belt, trying to avoid human patrols, he sent a final message to Admiral Kriegstall. Sir, we need to face the truth. We are not the superior species here. These humans are apex predators. They have turned their entire solar system into a hunting ground, and we are the prey. That's impossible, Krikstal replied. We have superior technology. Sir, technology doesn't matter if you don't know how to use it. These humans know how to fight because they've been fighting each other for millions of years. Every war they've ever fought has been practiced for this moment. As if to prove his point, human ships suddenly appeared on all sides of Vextar's vessel. They had been waiting in the asteroid field, invisible and patient. Sir, we're surrounded, his tactical officer reported. Vextar looked at the human ships on his display. They weren't attacking. They were just waiting, like predators who knew their prey had nowhere to run. Send a message to the human commander. He ordered, tell them we surrender. The age of Zephyrian conquest was over. The hunters had become the hunted. Admiral Krikstal sat in his command chair, staring at the display showing what remained of his once mighty fleet. Of the 50 warships that had entered Earth's solar system, only 12 were still functional. The rest were either destroyed or so badly damaged that they couldn't fight. Sir, the humans are demanding that we surrender all our ships, Commander Vextar reported. They're not offering us safe passage home. Krikstal felt something he had never experienced before in his long military career. Complete defeat. What are our options? Sir, we have no options. We're surrounded. Our ships are damaged, and we're running out of supplies. If we don't surrender, they'll destroy us. And if we do surrender, they've promised to treat us according to their laws of war. But, sir, they've also made it clear that they won't let us return to Zephyrian space with information about their defenses. Krikstal understood. The humans were making sure that no one would know what had really happened to the Zephyrian fleet. Earth's reputation as an undefended world would remain intact. Captain Gay Rodriguez was aboard the Zephyrian flagship, negotiating the terms of surrender. The alien ship was massive, 3 times the size of the Defender, but it felt like a tomb. The crew moved quietly, their confidence completely broken. Admiral Krikstal, Rodriguez said, you have 2 choices. You can surrender your fleet and accept internment on Earth, or you can try to fight your way out and be destroyed. The alien admiral looked at the human captain with his 3 eyes. You know that other Zephyrian fleets will come looking for us. Maybe, Rodriguez replied, but they'll find the same thing everyone else finds when they come to Earth. Nothing. No trace of your fleet. No evidence of what happened. Just another mystery in space. Commander Beth Palmer stood beside Rodriguez, her hand resting on her weapon. Admiral, let me explain something to you. Earth looks undefended because we want it to look that way. Any species that mistakes our restraint for weakness simply disappears. That's not a threat. That's just how things work. Krikstal was beginning to understand the true horror of what had happened. You mean that other species have tried to attack Earth before? What do you think? Beth replied. A planet that looks defenseless and full of resources? Of course, others have tried, but nobody ever reports back about what they found here. The alien admiral felt a chill run through his body. How many? Does it matter? The important thing is that you're about to become part of the same story. The Zephyrian Empire sent a fleet to conquer Earth. The fleet disappeared. End of story. On Earth, Dr. Amanda Clark was working with Colonel Morrison to compose a very special message. This message would be sent to every alien civilization within 100 light years of Earth. Colonel, are you sure about this? She asked. Once we send this message, there's no going back. Dr. Clark, these aliens have conquered 17 worlds. They've enslaved billions of people. If we don't send a message, they'll just keep doing it to other species. The message was simple but effective. It would be broadcast on all known galactic communication frequencies in dozens of different alien languages. Attention all spacefaring civilizations. This is Earth. We are aware that our planet has a reputation as an undefended world. We want to clarify this misunderstanding. Earth is not undefended. Earth is a predator world inhabited by apex hunters who have spent millions of years perfecting the art of warfare. Any civilization that mistakes our restraint for weakness will discover why nothing that threatens Earth ever reports back. We prefer peace, but we are very good at war. Choose wisely. The message was sent into space, carried by powerful transmitters. That would ensure it reached every major civilization in the local galaxy. Within days, it would be translated and analyzed by alien scientists across dozens of star systems. Commander Vexstar was in a human detention facility when he received permission to send one final message to the Zephyrian home fleet. The message was simple. Mission failed. Do not attempt rescue. Repeat, do not attempt rescue. But he added something else, something that would ensure his people understood the real situation. Earth is not what it appears to be. The humans are not primitive. They are the most dangerous species in the galaxy. Stay away. The message was intercepted by human intelligence, but they allowed it to be sent. In fact, they wanted it to be sent. The more alien civilizations that heard the warning, the fewer would be tempted to test Earth's defenses. General Paul Hayes was in a meeting with world leaders, discussing what to do with the captured alien fleet. The ships were incredibly advanced, and their technology could benefit humanity for generations. General, what do you recommend? Asked the President of the United States. Sir, I recommend we study their technology, but we also need to send a message. We can't just let them go home and tell everyone about our defenses. What kind of message? The kind that ensures no one else tries to attack Earth. The solution was elegant in its simplicity. The captured Zephyrian ships would be modified and sent to the edge of the solar system, where they would serve as automated warning beacons. Any alien vessel that approached Earth would receive a message from the captured ships, explaining what had happened to their previous owners. Captain Rodriguez was put in charge of the final phase of the operation. He would escort the surviving Zephyrian officers to the edge of the solar system, where they would be placed in escape pods and sent toward neutral space. Admiral Krickstow, Rodriguez said as they prepared to leave, I want you to understand something. This didn't happen because we hate your people. It happened because you threatened our world. The alien admiral nodded slowly. I understand now. We made a mistake. We thought Earth was weak because it looked undefended. Earth doesn't look undefended, Rodriguez corrected. Earth looks like a trap, and it is. Commander Beth Palmer was standing nearby, watching the aliens prepare to leave. Admiral, let me give you some advice. When you get home, tell your people that Earth is off limits. Tell them that humans are not prey. We're predators. What about the other species you've conquered? Rodriguez asked. What happens to them? Krickstow looked ashamed. I don't know. The Zephyrian Empire has never faced defeat before. Everything may change now. It better change, Beth said simply. Because if we hear about your people attacking innocent civilizations, we might decide to pay your home world a visit. The alien admiral's 3 eyes widened with fear. You would do that? We're pack hunters, Admiral. We don't just defend our territory. We hunt down threats to make sure they don't come back. As the alien escape pods drifted away from Earth, Admiral Krickstow sent one final message to his home fleet. The human homeworld is not a target. It is a predator nest. Any approach will result in total destruction. Mark this system as Forbidden's territory. The message was received by the Zephyrian High Command with shock and disbelief. The mighty Admiral Krickstow, conqueror of 17 worlds, was warning them to stay away from a single planet inhabited by primitive humans. But as more reports came in from other sources, the truth became clear. Every alien civilization within 100 light years had received the same message from Earth. The humans were not hiding their strength anymore. They were advertising it. Dr. Amanda Clark was monitoring alien communications when she noticed something interesting. Species that had never communicated with each other before were suddenly sharing information about Earth. The message was spreading faster than they had hoped. "Colonel Morrison, look at this," she said, showing him the intercepts. "The word is spreading. Every major civilization in the local galaxy now knows about Earth." "What are they saying?" "They're calling us the apex predators of the galaxy. Some of them are suggesting that Earth should be avoided at all costs. Others are saying that humans might be the solution to the Zephyrian problem." Morrison smiled. "Good. Let them think about that for a while." Within a year, the galaxy had changed. The Zephyrian Empire, faced with the knowledge that they could be defeated, began negotiating with the species they had conquered. Some of the enslaved worlds were given their freedom. Others were granted self-governance. The change wasn't complete, and it wasn't perfect. But it was a beginning. Earth's reputation had also changed. The planet was no longer seen as an undefended world full of primitive humans. Instead, it was known as the home of the most dangerous species in the galaxy. The world that looked like an easy target, but was actually an apex predator's den. Trade delegations began arriving at Earth, offering friendship and technology in exchange for protection. Some alien species, tired of being bullied by military empires, asked if humans would be willing to help them defend their worlds. Captain Rodriguez, now promoted to admiral, was put in charge of Earth's first interstellar diplomatic mission. As his ship prepared to leave the solar system, he looked back at the blue and green planet that had fooled so many enemies. "Earth still looks peaceful from out here," Commander Palmer observed. "That's the point," Rodriguez replied. "The best defense is the one your enemies never see coming." The USS Defender, along with a small fleet of human ships, headed toward the stars. Their mission was to make contact with alien civilizations and offer them a choice: friendship with Earth, or the same fate that had befallen the Zephyrian invasion. Fleet. Most chose friendship. And in the depths of space, automated beacon C